YouTube. You wanted the best, you got the best. The hottest podcast in a 6-block radius of Greg's house. Yinz Dahn to list 'em. And I'm Greg, aka Cookbook Thor, and welcome to Yinz Dahn to list 'em, where I invite friends to rank various topics along with me because it's much more fun that way. And today's subject is a huge one, a little more than the usual top 10 even, as we tackle the discography of the hottest band in the world, Kiss. And with me for this huge undertaking is the mastermind behind one of my favorite events every summer, Three Rivers Comicon, as well as my beloved local comic store, New Dimension Comics, Jon Engel. Welcome, John.
How's it going, Greg? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, glad to have you, man. Yeah. Now, how long have you been a Kiss fan, would you say?
Oh my gosh. Probably over 30 years for sure. I think the first record, like, I remember hearing songs, right? Like, I remember hearing Rock and Roll All Night. I remember hearing I Was Made for Loving You, because they were like the big radio hits. But the first like record I remember listening to, I think, was Alive 3, to be honest. So like in 93, 94, right? And a friend of mine, his older brother, was like really into them. So like that had just come out. So we all were like, oh, this is awesome. And then we found another friend whose older brother was also into Kiss. So we just kind of back cataloged at that point. And before the time that the reunion happened, we had all bought all of the records. So in that, like, 3-year span, we bought 30 some records at that point, or like almost 30 records on CD. But yeah, right. And they very much so were a big part of my life. Like Ace Frehley is the reason I play guitar. I really kind of look at a lot of bands in the idea of their stage show, like how they do it. Because my first big concert was the reunion tour at State College. I saw them at Bryce Jordan Center. This band that you may have heard of called Power Man 5000 opened for them, and it was awesome. It was Easter Eve, and me and like 3 of my friends who were all diehards from back in the day went, and a couple of those guys I still talk to today, which is actually kind of fun. So
that is awesome. Yeah, it sounds like we got into them about the same time then. Yeah, I'm actually wearing right now my shirt from that reunion show.
Yeah, nice.
July 96 at the Pittsburgh Civic Arena.
Nice.
Yep, and as an added bonus, I was able to find my 3D glasses from the Psycho Circus 3D tour.
Nice.
In
I mean, mine are somewhere over there in a pile somewhere.
yeah, mine were wedged into a drawer somewhere, and yeah,
Nice.
They've still got the smudged makeup on the inside, which
Wow.
I was painted as Ace Frehley for that show. First time I saw them, I was painted as Gene, and I have pictures of me as Gene. I somehow do not have any pictures of me as Ace. I'm hoping they'll turn up somewhere someday, because I know we had to have photographic evidence of that.
Yeah, I definitely went as Gene or Ace most Halloweens for like probably a 5-year, 6-year span.
I did my fair share. I definitely remember going to a school dance as Gene Simmons.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I have toys. I have all kinds of stuff. I have all the Psycho Circus figures somewhere. When we moved from the apartment, yeah, nice. When we moved from the apartment to the house, everything kind of got boxed up, and not everything made it back out of boxes. Including somewhere I also have Gene Simmons slipper demon boots. But they're like cool slippers, and you just wear them like that. I'm trying to think what else. I had pop vinyls. I sold my original pop vinyls because I was really in need of money at one point, so I needed to sell those. I had my Les Paul has a Ace Frehley signature guitar strap on it. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I've had a poster hanging in my in my home in some capacity since about 1994. It was actually the 20th anniversary poster with the illustrations of every band member,
Yeah, I
and
remember that.
it's in my home office upstairs now. And next to that is probably the rarest Kiss item I own, which is a sealed pack of Paul Stanley Puffy stickers. I've got framed on the
Ooh,
wall.
that's awesome. Oh man, I have a couple vinyl, even though I don't listen to records.
Same.
I have Hotter Than Hell, Crazy Nights, and Love Gun and Destroyer. I think I have Unmasked too, but it's been a while since I've looked through it. Oh, and I have an Ace Frehley solo record because that's my favorite of the solo records. So
Yeah. I've got a fair chunk on vinyl. Yeah, I don't listen to vinyl that much. When I do, I really enjoy it. But I'm about due for a new turntable because mine's a little on the wobbly side. It's
Ooh.
Audiophiles would thumb their nose at this thing, but it does work, and they are cool.
Yeah.
Unmasked is a good one to have on vinyl because you get that um, the full comic art. You can actually read the little story going on. Yeah.
Yeah. One of my friend of mine, who was the other guy whose older brother was into Kiss, he has a ton of vinyl. In fact, I think we were talking the other day. He has everything from the first record up through Music from the Elder. I think he has everything from, or no, Creatures of the Night. He has everything through Creatures of the Night on vinyl. And I remember one night we listened to the Elder, we listened to Unmasked, because he was like, dude, you got to hear this on record. It's so different. And he put it on, and I'm like, was that drum part always there? Like, there's like auxiliary stuff you hear that the frequencies of those must get muddled when it's like when it was compressed for a CD.
Could be.
And it's like a whole different experience listening to that stuff on vinyl, especially with a really good stereo. Like, holy crap, is it way different. So, but I definitely enjoy doing that. It's a lot of fun. So,
Yep, something to be said for that. Yep. Yeah. So, without further ado, shall we begin this task of 33 albums?
oh my gosh, yes, let's do it.
Yeah. Who do you got for number 33? The least best, we'll say.
Oh,
You wanted the
my least.
Best, you got the least best.
Oh man, this was so hard too because like I probably rearranged this list 6 times, but I think my least favorite record, because it's so not, it just doesn't fit literally with anything else, is the Peter Criss solo album. And it's really just, it's not rock. I mean, it's like 50s rock, but it's not what they were doing. And it's really sad to know like Peter barely played drums on it because he had been in a car accident and his hands were all jacked up. And like to know that like most of the songs are covers, like it's, I don't know, like it's never been my favorite record to listen to, so I kind of put it at the bottom for that reason.
I think that's a fair assessment. Yep. Yeah. My number 33 is Hot in the Shade. It was to me it felt a little long for what it was, and not enough of the songs stood out. I mean, that same year you had Ace put out Trouble Walking, and he had a version of Hide Your Heart, the Bonnie Tyler song that they also covered, and I thought Ace's well, Trouble Walking's a superior record to begin with, but it just, to me it was, they were kind of getting back on track, getting more focused on the music, and that one was sort of the low point before they climbed back up.
I agree. It's definitely like it's toward the bottom of my list, but it's I definitely understand and feel you on this, a lot of that. And I agree. I think Ace's version of Hide Your Heart is just slightly better. You know, but Trouble Walking is definitely a better record as whole. Yep. So, but there are some gems on there too. Like Little Caesar was cool to hear Eric sing, and Cadillac Dreams is always a cool one because it's got those horns in it, and I thought that was kind of neat. But yeah, there really wasn't a ton of great songs on there. So,
Yep. So, number 32. What you got?
So this, I put this down this far because of the production quality of the record and the fact that there's only like 3 good songs on it. But it's Animalize. Like, the production on this record is just so bad that, you know, I always wanted to like be like, man, if they took the recordings and remixed them and like updated the compression and did a lot more stuff with them now, like went back and really revisited that record 100%, how much better would it sound? And I think it would be a much better record with the production not sounding so muddy and thin. Like, it was very much like, it sounded like an 80s demo record. You know?
It did have that feel to it, yeah.
What you got?
Yep. I have Crazy Nights, which is kind of in the same boat as Hot in the Shade. There's still some stuff to enjoy. I mean, No is a good one. But, overall, it was just...
the title track's good, too.
Yeah. And in the thick of the hair metal craze, it was... it didn't really stand out to me. And, they had yet to rediscover their hard edge, but it would come in the future. So, yeah, so it's not super high on my list.
Fair enough. I mean, it's definitely on the bottom half for me too, but or barely on the bottom half. I think it's around lower mid. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, I like parts of that record too. Like, you're right, No, and this, like, Reason to Live, I keep hearing on the radio every once in a while, and I'm like, what the hell? So
when the song gets like sort of reintroduced to the zeitgeist or whatever.
Yeah. That's Wish FM for you, I think, but it's all good. So, so my number 31, my next one is Sonic Boom. And this one, it's not because of the production. It's just because, like, I didn't really find a lot of the songs on here that good. Like, it felt like they were all very slow. They didn't feel like they had a lot of energy in it. And it felt very cookie cutter. And that's kind of my reasoning for putting it so far down. Like, it just didn't, either that or I just haven't had enough time to really marinate in it, because it came out in like the late 2000 or early 2010s. So yeah,
I think it was 2010, 2011, something like that. Yeah, my number 31 is Carnival of Souls. It just felt
Really?
a little too different to me. It just didn't click with me. I don't know what it was. Some people really like that one. To me, it feels, I don't know. It doesn't have the same flavor as a Kiss record to me. And I just couldn't get into it. Maybe I'll revisit it. Maybe I'll soften my stance on it someday. But I just didn't grow on me.
Well, I definitely put it way higher up than you did, but I really like that record, and yeah, exactly, and that's how fandom works. But I really liked it because I thought it was a great follow up to Revenge, and it kept with that cool darker tone that they were trying to aim for. And there's some really great songs on there, like Rain. Rain's great. Hate. I Walk Alone.
I Walk Alone was cool.
Yeah. Like Childhood's End was good. Master and Slave. Like, there's some really cool, as a guitarist, there's some real cool riffs on there. And I think we got to see Bruce really shine on that record. It's just sad that, like, it had no backing, no nothing. It was like, hey, we recorded this record, by the way, we're going back to do the reunion tour. Bye, guys.
Yeah, it was kind of pushed aside. Yeah, and it was released just because it was finished, I think, which is better than certainly better than sitting on it.
Yeah. Because that would have sucked if it sat in like a vault forever. So, all right, my number 30 is Monster, the brother record to Sonic Boom, and I put this down here. Similar reasons to Sonic Boom, except that I liked it a little more because it had like a little more of a darker edge to it. which is kind of what I liked about it. Like, but it still felt kind of the similar. It was very cookie cutter, very like they weren't really trying that hard, and everything was like a very lower tempo than I like. There was nothing that really like got in your face and rocked real hard. So
I get it absolutely. Yep. And my number 30 is the Peter Criss solo record. So, and for pretty much the reasons we discussed, I will say I give it a little more leeway just because as a solo record, you would expect it to do things that you would not hear on a Kiss record, and it is very much, completely different to Kiss. And if that was his goal, he absolutely accomplished it. It's just not a rock record. Like, it's not really a hard rock record, like you said.
Yeah, I think the only good thing that came out of that record is that Vinnie Poncia, who recorded or produced that, did Dynasty and Unmasked after that. And those records were very well produced. So that's just how I felt about that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So some good came from it.
Yeah. All right, my number 29 is You Wanted the Best, You Got the Best collection of live stuff. And I put this down here because it's mostly just rehash of Live 1 and 2, but it had like 2 or 3 extra ones on there from like rehearsal. Like I think Mr. Speed was like from a rehearsal or something. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of cool to hear some new stuff on there, but it was still just kind of a rehash of the same stuff from the Alive records. And that, to me, was kind of like, so you're just doing a greatest hits of the Alives? Is that what we're doing? This is the greatest Alive.
Aliver.
Aliver. More alive. Right. So that was my choice for it. So.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And number 29 for me is Monster. And I can pretty much reiterate what you said. Yeah, the only song that really stood out to me was maybe Hell or Hallelujah, and even that was not a real strong one. So, yeah, it was... for their final studio recording, it was... maybe not the strongest note to go out on, but let's be honest, by that point, we wanted to hear the hits.
Yeah. At that point, it was like somebody's grandson is now coming to find them now, which I also found weird because I think I saw the last time I saw them, I think was on Sonic Boom, and it might have been Monster, but I'm pretty sure it was Sonic Boom, and there were literally people there that were dad, son, grandson, or parent, child, grandchild there, and I was just like, this just feels weird now, but but it's all good. I mean, it happens.
Rock fans, which is kind of cool in a way, share that with multiple generations.
Mm-hmm. All right, my 29. This has nothing to do with the hits on it. It has absolutely everything to do with the production, and that it is probably the second worst produced record they ever had. Hotter Than Hell. Yeah, I know. It's very controversial.
Absolutely. If you're a production guy, absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because, like, listening to, like, even on Alive 3, they redo Watching You, and that live version was the first version of it I heard. So then when I heard the record version, I was like, this is so muddy. Like, and, like, listening to like, the versions of their stuff on Alive, you're like, man, why couldn't they clean this up and not make it so, like, it's almost all bass heavy and, like, just there's no treble at all. It's just very thick and muddy. It's very muddy. That's the best word I can use for it. Yeah.
It has the feel of being recorded in a public restroom. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it was very not well produced at all.
I don't know.
I mean, I found it interesting because the first record had very good production. Everything was very well balanced. Then Hotter Than Hell was very muddy. And then they kind of flipped it 100% for Dress to Kill, and it was like all very treble and thin. And I'm just like, come on, guys, get this shit right. And then by the second wave of 3 solo or studio albums for Destroyer, Love Gun, and Rock All Over, like, they're all like well, like, balanced. So, but we'll talk about those when we get there. So.
Yep. Yeah. My 28 is going to be...
28, yeah.
Yeah. I know what you meant. Yep. Mine is going to be Alive 4. And I don't have any real, just like, problem with it. It's just, it was kind of another one on the trend of orchestral hard rock albums. And it just didn't grab me the same way that some of them did. So, so I just kind of placed it here. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only really cool thing that you get to hear out of that is we have a live version of Shandy. You know, and we never. I was just like, holy crap, what the hell? And then I was like, oh, it's recorded in Australia. That's why.
Yeah, because it was a massive hit in Australia and nowhere else.
Right. So, all right, my 27 is Hot in the Shade. Pretty much just reasons we talked about. But I will also note that I do love Read My Body. I think that song is pretty awesome.
There you go.
So, yeah.
Yep. And my 27 is Psycho Circus. Okay. Like when it came out, I was very excited, you know, having the old gang back together. I thought maybe something cool was going to come out of it. And it felt more like a product than a proper band recording with equal input from everybody. And I think one thing led to another on the tour, and pretty soon Ace and Peter were no longer touring with them. So, yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, it did have, you know, Into the Void with Ace on vocals, and that was probably the high point of the record.
Yeah, I also really like Raise Your Glasses. That's a really great one. And what's the one? It's something rock and roll, like Pledge Allegiance to the State of Rock and Roll. That's
yes.
It's cheesy, but it's fun. So
yep. And we're Kiss fans, you know, we like cheese.
Yeah, and I will say that album probably had the worst Gene songs on it ever. So. And speaking of bad Gene songs, my number 26 is the Gene Simmons solo record. Because I don't know how much more monster voice singing I could have taken from that record. But I mean, there are some gems on there. Like Living in Sin is good. When You Wish Upon a Star is actually very good. And but and Burn Up with Fever I would probably say on there, and the See You in Your Dreams on there being a redo of something he had already done, but just made it a lot cleaner, a lot more like of the time. I thought was a very interesting choice, but I also was like, that's cool, like it sounds better, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that one.
Yeah, and as luck would have it, my number 26 is also the Gene solo album.
What? By the way, I'm keeping track to see how many times we both have it at the same spot. So.
As am I. Yes. Yeah, I list a scorecard at the end of the video for those who did not keep track along, just so they can handily check and see where we agree. So, yeah, I had Gene right to that spot.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a fun one to listen at some points. It's just not one that I went back to a lot. I think maybe I was expecting a little more out of it. Like there's not going to be another God of Thunder on there because, well, Paul wrote that anyway. But
right. Right. Yeah, I similar. It was very disappointing, for lack of a better term, to be like, you know, this is supposed to be Gene's record, and it came out, and you were like, what the hell is this? Like, it sounded more like a Beatles or a Mott the Hoople record than it did a Kiss record, and that's kind of why. Yeah.
Yep, very much indulging his Beatle fandom, I think, with that one. Which, again, being a solo record, you're doing things that you would not do with the band proper. So, I suppose, from that point of view, it was a success.
Right. My 25 is Alive 4. So down there toward the bottom, like you had it. Very similar reasons. You know, and like I said, we got Shandy live. That's cool. But also in the grand scheme of symphony records, I thought this was like I'm gonna say this as a musician, it's going to be sad. It was the weakest attempt at orchestrating songs that I've ever seen. Like the orchestration wasn't super full. It didn't. It just kind of like did the motions. Like, but if you go back and listen to like the Metallica one or two, or the like the even the Collective Soul one they did with the youth orchestra was much more in depth and interactive with the orchestra parts than this was, and part of me actually after listening to it went, is Kiss really that boring? And I'm just that like I just don't get it. I was like, I don't know, but that was where I kind of fell apart on it. So, but anyway,
yeah, I can relate to some of that. Yep. Yeah, and my 25 is double plat. It's not a bad compilation, but you had some basically slightly reworked versions of the songs, and I prefer the original versions. And it was probably, I think that might have been the first Kiss CD I actually ever bought. So as a starting point, it's not a bad thing. But once you get into the real the discography proper, it kind of falls by the wayside.
I can go 50-50 on this record. Like, sometimes I'm like, I'm just going to listen to Double Platinum because it's got all the hits, and that's kind of why I like it. And I like the Strutter 78. I think that's, like, kind of a cool update to that song. But, yeah, I was like, why is the Rock Bottom intro in the front of She? Like, this doesn't make any sense, but it's still it's probably the best compilation that they have out there. As just compilation, like not with new songs on it. So yeah. All right, my 24 is Asylum, and I would put this up higher if the production was better. Especially there's one part in, I forget which song it is, but the track actually slows down in the middle of the song, and I'm like, what the who did this? Like, was this intentional? Like, what's going on? But the reason I put it higher above like Animalize and Hot in the Shade was, I think this might have the best Eric Carr drumming on it outside of Creatures of the Night, because he really rips into it on some songs, and it's interesting because like I'm of the belief that I think he was the best live drummer they had. And I think Peter was the best, like, for what they had in the 70s, I think he was what they needed. But I think Eric Singer is the best overall between the three. Because I think he can do what Eric Carr did, but he can also do the Peter stuff and make it sound a little bit cleaner. It's not as jazzed up. But I like the Asylum a lot. It was one of my like guilty pleasure records there for a while, because like King of the Mountain's like a big song. All Night, I remember watching them play Out All Night on like Dick Clark's Rockin' New Year's Eve one year, and was like, oh my god, they're playing All Night, not just Rock and Roll All Night, what is going on? And I was like, how many more songs do they have All Night in it so that we can play more? But it's a good track, like it's a good record. Even the 80s Gene songs on there aren't terrible, but they're definitely not highlight. It's very much so a strong Paul record, and Bruce rips, just completely kicks its ass in that record. So, but the production kind of kills it.
Yeah, if you have an ear for production, that can certainly hamper these things. Yeah. Yeah. My number 24 is Sonic Boom. When it first came out, I remember really liking it, but it didn't stick with me the way that the greats did, Yeah. And it just felt a little strange having someone else play the Spaceman, I mean, all credit to Tommy Thayer, but he's playing a character someone else created, basically.
Yeah, and he as much as he was in a Kiss tribute band and like helped Ace relearn a bunch of stuff, he plays so clean and precise that it's not you're like it just takes you out of that vibe of listening to how when Ace played it versus when he plays it. And Bruce, even to the point where like Bruce kind of is in the middle there. Like he is way more of like your 80s style guitar player, but he also had a lot of that groove to him from the 70s that he could still play it a little dirty. Like Tommy, like I think he's a great guitar player on his own right, but I just don't like him as a Kiss member. If that sounds terrible. So
I get it. Yeah.
All right. Number 23 for me is Alive 3. For a lot of reasons. So it is the Alive with the least amount of tracks on it. But it was kind of a great reinvention of them on a live record in the 90s. Because you didn't get a lot of live records in the 90s until a couple years later when the Unplugged stuff started coming, which we'll talk about that eventually. But I really liked it because I thought it was a good encompassing of their repertoire. Really kind of going, all right, we're going to pick and choose these specific songs. And I thought they did a good job of doing that. And that version of Watching You is still like my favorite version of Watching You that there is. So and Creatures of the Night, like kicking it open with like that big explosion, and you can just feel like, oh man, like we're in here, we're in it. And like I said, it was the first record I ever listened to, so without it, I wouldn't be on this podcast right now. So
yeah, there's definitely packs a punch. Yeah.
Yep.
My number 23 is Dynasty. Yeah, it's the production is quite good, as we alluded to, but the songs are just don't have quite the oomph that their earlier work had. It was starting to get a little more polished and got away from it's a far cry from the grit of the first 3-4 records.
Right.
And but I mean, when I hear "I Was Made for Loving You" on the radio, I'm going to listen to it. I'm going to sit in the car until it's finished playing before I get out and do whatever I have to do. But
right.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's just it doesn't overall. I don't really re-listen to it as much as some of the ones that we'll be getting to.
Right. All right. My 22 is Psycho Circus for a lot of the reasons we talked about, and I definitely agree with the vibe of it felt like a product more than it felt like a record. Like it didn't feel like their hearts were in it at all. And in fact, I'm pretty sure that Bruce played more guitar on that record than Ace did. So
I've heard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. My number 22 is Unmasked. It's superior to Dynasty, but it has some of the same vibe to it. Although it does have 3 Ace songs, which is always a plus. Yeah, again.
Well, so does Dynasty, though.
Mm-hmm. True. Yeah, I thought they were stronger on.
Oh, agreed. Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, 2 sides of the coin. That's yeah, that one I do revisit more so than the rest of the record. Yeah, again, it's not bad. It's just not. There's just better ones to come. Yeah, that's where we get to have like a hair's breadth between a lot of these things.
Oh yeah, yeah. A lot of these, especially like, I'm gonna go with probably everything outside the top 10 is probably going to be very similar, and then the top 10 I will bet are very similar, if not at least 60% the same. But we're gonna see. We're gonna get there. So my 21 is Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits. Again, good compilation. You can tell they re-recorded everything though, and that's kind of a sad point to it. Hearing Eric Carr sing Beth was kind of neat. And the 2 extra songs, they were kind of the same song, really. Like, and that's and that's my only real problem with it. But other than that, it was okay. It just wasn't like it wasn't a double platinum. Like double platinum to me was a better one because you get so much more, and it's just kind of like Smash the Thrashers and Hits was like, okay, well here's like 12 songs instead of 20, right? So, you know, like so my double platinum will be higher because of volume, I guess. Quantity over quality.
That's a fair assessment, I'd say. Yeah. My number 21 is You Wanted the Best, You Got the Best. And it's a companion piece to Alive 1 and 2, really. Mm-hmm. And it's almost like if there was a big box set, this would have been an extra disc in that. And there probably is a big box set now, and I just don't own it.
There is. That's where the Millennium concert and stuff is from. So.
Yeah. So that's, to me, that's kind of where this fits, and it just got a solo release. So. And it's got that Jay Leno interview at the end, which I think I listened to maybe once.
Same. Yeah, I was like, why is this on here? Are you just trying to kill time? Like, what are you doing? So, but... all right, my number 20 is Lick It Up, which is a little more controversial because, you know, a lot of people really love Lick It Up. I really don't. Like, I love the song Lick It Up. I love it on the 8th Day, and I love, what's the one where Paul raps in it?
All Hell's Breaking Loose.
All Hell's Breaking Loose, right. Yeah.
It's so goofy, and I love it.
Right? So those songs are great, but the rest of it felt very weird and different, especially coming out of what was a beautiful piece of work that was Creatures of the Night. Like, they went to this thinner 80s sound. You know, Vinnie Vincent was really, you could definitely tell it wasn't Ace for the first time in a long time, or at least people that kind of play like Ace, because as we know, like, he did not play on every record anyway. But you can definitely tell it was like kind of a step away, and it just like I said, there's like 3 or 4 songs on there that I like, and other than that, it's kind of okay. Like, I'll listen to it every once in a while, but I'm not a huge fan. So
that's fair. Yeah, my number 20 is Alive 3, and yeah, I got that around the same time, shortly after double platinum, so it's very early in my Kiss journey as well. And yeah, it packs a punch at times. There's a few things that I think that affected it for me. Like, if I remember right, that version of Rock and Roll All Night doesn't have the drum intro, and that bothered me a little bit.
Yeah,
that's the way they played it on that tour. But I had to dock a point for that. I'll say that.
That's fair. So I thought you were going to be like, I'm going to dock a point for the Star Spangled Banner instead of an actual guitar solo.
No,
you know? So, all right.
I also loved the Kiss family tree on the inside.
Oh, that was awesome. Because then you could trace like everybody back, and it included literally everybody. Like, I thought it was cool that you know, you got to see like Anton Fig even in there, and like where he went to, because like, you know, because he played on Dynasty, Unmasked, Ace, and then he went on to be part of the CBS Orchestra with Paul Schaefer, and was on David Letterman for a long time. The Thunder from Down Under. So he's such a great drummer too. So all right,
yeah, and you had their first. The co-producer of their first record, Richie Wise, he's mentioned on there. I don't know if it mentions him being in the band Dust in the early 70s, but the drummer for that band was Mark Bell, a.k.a. Marky Ramone. So if you were to expand that a little bit, you have the Ramones on the Kiss tree.
Wow. No wonder I love both those bands. So.
Same.
All right.
Maybe a future record.
Maybe. I would be down with that. That's they have almost the same amount of records, so yeah, sure, if not more, if you count all the like the extra compilations. So, all right, my number 19 is Music from the Elder, and this one I actually had a hard time figuring out where I was going to put this on my list, because sometimes I really love this record. sometimes I really hate this record. Because while I think it's not a great Kiss record, and that's kind of where I ended up putting it mid range here. I think it was huge for like the growth of their songwriting, and how they approached writing. And they definitely did different things, like all the falsetto and Just a Boy. We never heard that before in anything that Paul had done, and like really, but it was great. And then but then there's complete trash, like Mr. Blackwell is a garbage song, right? But Dark Light's good, Eyes good, like the Odyssey I think is actually a pretty good song because it's very epic sounding, and we don't get that from them ever again. We don't get that super epic sound, weirdly, until Psycho Circus, and then we get like a couple songs, like especially Journey of 1,000 Years. It's got that epic ending kind of vibe to it, which actually does, I think, have a callback to one of the songs from Music from the Elder on there. It's one of the Paul songs, but I can't remember which one it is. I'll have to listen to it again, and I'll let you know when I do that. So,
my number 19 is Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits. And as far as compilations go, it's probably the one I listen to the most. But the weaker drum sound on I Love It Loud just takes me out of it, man.
Yep.
You know, it's it's there's no comparison. I can't do it. I got to listen to the Creatures version instead.
So when my cousin from Erie came down and I got him into Kiss, and the reason I got him into Kiss was he fell in love with the song I Love It Loud because he was a drummer. So back in the day when you had cassettes, right? We started a cassette to record, and he would wait till the intro plays, and then he would hit rewind so it would loop. And he did that so that it had like a 10-minute loop of the drums at the beginning, and then it finished the song. Like, it was the craziest. I was like, what are you doing? He's like, I love this intro, man. And I'm like, okay. So it's like the weirdest. I was like, whatever, dude. Whatever. So
it is pretty great.
It is. All right, my number 18 is Crazy Nights. I think the production on it was better than a lot of the 80s stuff, and it started kind of like how you said Hot in the Shade kind of was the come up. I think this actually was the one where they started to come out of their dip in the 80s. But mostly I put it on there because I think it's the best sounding 80s album outside of Creatures. So
It does have a good sound to it, I'll say that.
Yeah. So.
Yep. Yeah. My number 18 is the Paul Stanley solo record.
Okay.
It's the most Kiss feeling of the four, I would say.
I agree.
Yeah, you got. I mean, Tonight You Belong to Me is, to me, that's like a Stone Cold classic. You know, like I got Paul right here. Confirm that, and yeah, it's not one I listen to over and over a lot, but there's a few songs on there that would have been excellent album tracks for Kiss. But it was
I agree.
Equally a whole solo record. Yep.
I agree. It's my second favorite solo record because same reasons. It sounds the most Kiss. You had Bob Kulick playing on most of it, who played a lot of the stuff when Ace couldn't make it anyway, so it felt very Kiss. There were just a couple songs on there that I was like, okay, you're stretching it a little too thin here, Paul. But Tonight You Belong to Me, Move On, Goodbye, like they're just great tracks. Like there's days where I'll just put that record on and just play through the whole thing on my guitar because they're just such good tunes. Ain't Quite Right is one of the ones that's kind of on the lower end, but anyway, my 17 is Dynasty. Again, we're a lot of these are very splitting hairs, and I do like Dynasty, but and I like it for a couple things. I like it because Ace really got to shine on this record. There's only like 2 Gene songs on the whole record. We have one of the best Peter Criss songs on this record. And like the Paul songs are all very solid. And the production was great. So like it really kind of, I used to when I was younger be like, man, this record sucks, whatever, like I don't like it. But then I really started listening to it, and it really kind of grew on me like in the last, I would say like last 5 or 10 years, it really started growing back on me. So that was a recent development that would be up that high. If this would have been 5-6 years ago, I probably would have had it in the 20s.
Excellent. Yeah, my number 17 is Killers. Yeah, which we only really got as an import in the States for the most part, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, but it did have a few new songs on it, which I thought were pretty solid.
Yeah.
I'm a Legend Tonight. I thought was really cool, and Nowhere to Run was cool. And you
Partners
had
in Crime.
Partners in Crime, yes.
Yep.
You had the version of God of Thunder without Bob Ezrin's kids babbling in the background.
Yep.
Which was the version that Rob Zombie used in his version of Halloween, I believe.
Yes. Which is weird because the White Zombie version has the kid sounds in it. So oh man, I liked it. My cover is the German one, so it has like the blocky S's, like they almost look like Z's instead.
Yeah, I think most of the ones I've seen have that.
Yeah. Because I thought that was an interesting thing that, you know, like the actual Kiss S's had to be changed in Germany because they look like SS stuff.
Yeah,
I was like, ooh.
Didn't want any unsavory associations, and I'm sure Gene and Paul did not either. Yeah.
Right. All right. Again, splitting hairs. My 16 is Paul Stanley. Yeah, said similar reasons. So.
Very cool. Yeah, my 16 is going to be Animalize. And maybe I'm not as bothered by the production issues on it, but yeah, I thought the songs were strong enough to lift it up there without being too bothered by the thinness, if you will.
Well, there's also some moments where Mark St. John's playing his solos and they just feel sloppy. So almost like, man.
It's like, hey, look what I can do. Oh, well, okay.
Look what I can try to do, right? I'm not Vinnie Vincent. I'm not Van Halen, and I'm definitely not Bruce Kulick. But he's gonna come in here and help me out because my hand's gonna be fucked. So, yeah. All right, my number 15 is Double Platinum. Again, this is my favorite bigger compilation that doesn't have really new material on it. It just had those couple little switches out, and it's kind of a nice, like, oh, you have a friend who wants to get into Kiss, cool, here's Double Platinum, like, this is, just listen to this, if you like most of this, you're gonna be fine. And that's how I always pitch it to my friends. So
that is fair. Yep. My number 15 is Unplugged.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
wow.
It's fantastic, and it was when I was just devouring all things Kiss, and I have nothing but warm and fuzzy memories of it. But it's just, yeah, from here on out, it's tough, man. These, I'm telling you, it's a hair's breadth between any of these, and this is where it starts. Because when something that good is at number 15, you know, the rest is tight. Yeah,
for sure. I love Unplugged, and I like it's in my top 5. But I loved it. I still think to date it is probably the best MTV Unplugged record that has come out.
I would not disagree.
The second only maybe to Alice in Chains.
I think
because that was real good. Yeah. So like, but man, was it good? Like, and some of those songs, just hearing them like that was so cool. Like Coming Home, Going Blind. Like I was like, man, I never would have thought that would be a cool acoustic song. World Without Heroes, stuff like that. I thought it was really well done. So my 14 is Unmasked. And I do like it a little more. Like I said, I've learned to appreciate that a little more, especially it's like listening to it on vinyl and hearing all those other little auxiliary things in the background. Like the drums just sound amazing compared to what they do on CD or on digital. Like it's like a whole different experience. And if you can, definitely listen to it. It might change your ranking of it.
Maybe I'll track that down. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
My number 14 is Asylum, and that is largely because of All Night, which that was my jam in sophomore year of high school. I could not listen to that song enough, and that's burned into my brain, into the nostalgia section of the brain. So that elevates that, regardless of any other mitigating factors.
Oh my! All right. My 13, yeah, is Killers. And I put it up here because it's the compilation that had the most new stuff on it. And all of those newer tracks felt like they were like the leftovers from Creatures that just were really good. And they kind of were like, oh wow, these are awesome. And then, you go and listen to like Lick It Up and you're like, man, why couldn't those songs have been on Lick It Up? So, but that's where I put it. So,
that's fair. And as I alluded to, this is really tough going from here on out as far as ranking. Yeah. So my number 13 is Alive 2, which is it's an awesome record. It's arguably its only crime is not being Alive 1, but
I like Alive 2 more than Alive 1 because I just like that era's songs better.
That's fair. That's fair. Getting to have God of Thunder on there is awesome.
Yeah.
To me, it's this is a friggin' log jam from here on up, man.
Oh yeah. I mean, we all know what's coming because there's definitely records we have not talked about yet that are in here, and I'm curious to see where they hit.
Yes.
So this one's probably going to be like a what? But my number 12 is actually Destroyer. So, while I do find this record to be well produced, I just find that a lot of the songs get very much overplayed, or underplayed. Like Detroit Rock City kind of gets overplayed a lot. God of Thunder gets overplayed. But like, Do You Love Me doesn't get a lot of love. Flaming Youth doesn't get a lot of love. And there's some really cool stuff that Bob Ezrin did with the band, that I think this actually might be the best Peter Criss drumming of all of the records, in my opinion.
Could be, yeah.
So, I mean, but to make it to number 12 out of 33 is pretty good. Just shy of the top third. But I also love the album cover art. Like that's another reason why it's up there for me. So,
yeah, it's got a strong argument for best cover art.
Oh, for sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one that may not have a strongest argument for best cover art is my number 12, and that is Music from the Elder.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Door knocker, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the rose door knocker. Yeah. Like the hand reaching for the door knocker. So
yeah. Now, it is pretty different from the rest of their discography, but it's like different in a way that still fits who they are, I guess.
Yeah.
And I gotta say that when it's good, it's really, really good. I mean, The Oath and I are two of my favorite Kiss songs, and so I'm willing to maybe overlook some of the fluff in between. and
right.
I can understand people being confused by it when it was released with the original track listing, but let's be honest, the story isn't really what you're going for on this thing anyway. It was probably a Bob Ezrin idea. Gene Simmons indulging his fantasy fandom and such, and they're
Right.
just going a little outside the box. But yeah, overall, I like it more than most.
Yeah, I mean, it is definitely one of the ones that I have it in my top, almost top half, lower, just lower than the middle, I think.
It's the top 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's pretty good. It's just, there's a couple things on that record that are not as awesome as I hope they would be. So,
Mm-hmm.
All right, my number 11 is Carnival of Souls. And I really, like I said before, like I really love this record because it really was the follow up to Revenge. Like it was like, all right, we know we're good at this heavy shit. Let's do it a little better, a little more. And it had this. I don't want to say it had like the 90s grungy vibe, because it really wasn't grunge, but it was way more of like what metal kind of was feeling at that time, right?
Yeah, the alt metal, groove metal, a little bit. Yeah, maybe not groove metal, but alt metal. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say like alt metal, like, but still kind of keeping it Kiss sort of, because it definitely felt like the brother record to Revenge. But it was also a really interesting record because I think every song on there they tuned down to a drop D. And I don't know a single other Kiss record that they do that on.
Yeah, maybe that's part of what threw me off with that one. It felt too different because they did that. Yeah.
Because extra low, extra heavy. I also really like the production on it because they had I think his name was Ken Wright. He's the guy that did a lot of Alice in Chains records, and it had like some real great production quality on it, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. The production was definitely solid. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. My number 11 is Love Gun. And that was not an easy choice to make, but it slips a little bit because of the final track. The Paul Stanley doing
Then She Kissed Me.
Eventually Kiss Me, which was a Phil Spector from the 60s or something.
Yeah, and like the Beach Boys did a cover of it too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just it was a little jarring after some stuff like Got Love for Sale and Shock Me and these other ones are a lot harder hitting.
Yeah. All right, so if my math is correct, we are only going to have 3 records that are not the same in some part of this top 10.
Mm-hmm.
So Alive 2, Love Gun, and Unplugged are the only 3 that are not going to be somewhere in this top 10 that both of us have.
Yeah,
so that's
real interesting.
Right? All right, so my number 10, starting this top 10, is Alive 1. And I really love this record. Like, don't get me wrong, this is a great record. But I just don't like the material on it as much as I like on Alive 2. So Alive 2 is a little further up. But I really do love this record because it really kind of showed people like the energy that the band could kick out. And that's why I love it so much. Like the drum solo in 100,000 Years is amazing. Like, I love the Firehouse banter in there. It's really, really good. So
it's probably their most representative work, I would say. Yeah,
I wouldn't deny that.
Yeah, my number 10. Yeah, again, I stress this is tough going, but my number 10 is Revenge.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's for an album that I love that much, that I played the heck out of that much in high school. For it to only be number 10, we are in a tight situation here. With a record with stuff as good as Unholy, Heart of Chrome, God Gave Rock and Roll to You Too. Oh man, yeah. I'm gonna go listen to it right now.
I know, like that. Oh, I remember I bought that record at a wall in in DuBois, PA, and it had the CD came in the big cardboard box. Do you remember?
Oh yeah.
Right. So my mom's in the car, and she's like, "What did you buy?" And she like grabs it out of my hand, and she opens it, and then starts flipping through the lyric sheets, and she's like, "What the fuck did you do?" It's like, I'm like, it's okay, Mom. It's fine. It's fine. So like, it was very an awkward moment for me. So I actually had taken that cardboard and I pinned it to my wall in my room at my house back growing up. So
well, that's cool. Yeah, those are hard to find nowadays. Those long boxes for CDs.
Yeah. I think I only had it for that one. Might have been one more, but I'm pretty sure that was the only one I had. The only one I ever got that had the big box on it. So
yeah, I don't know if I ever had any. I remember seeing them in stores, but around that time I got into the BMG Music Club and started getting 12 for a penny or whatever. And it's pretty hard to.
Oh yeah.
Go back to that and rather than going into the store and paying full price, but.
Yeah, I definitely was a BMG and what was the other one? Columbia House. Yeah, I had a one for each of them, and an account with each, and it was a good time. So we used to take a lot of advantage of that stuff back in the day. So
yeah.
All right, number 9 for me is the Kiss self-titled record, and I would probably put this up a little higher if the energy would be a little bit higher on it, because you definitely can tell, especially listening to it live, that they slowed some songs down. Just to make the record kind of take up the space it needed. But I mean, like, come on, Cold Gin, Strutter, Deuce, they're all there. Like 100,000 Years, Black Diamond. That's it. It was the blueprint record for what was to come, and it was so good that I still listen to that record a lot today. So.
My number 9 is Lick It Up. Yeah, I'm a Lick It Up booster, I will say. Yeah, it's one that some
good.
days I think I like it better than Creatures of the Night. And you'll notice today is not one of those days, but
no,
some days I do feel that way. And to me it's always a fun listen. I find myself going back to it on a more than the average Kiss record. So, and even with the goofiness of All Hell Breaking Loose, but maybe that's part of why I love it.
Yeah, I mean, like Exciter's kind of goofy too, but that's another pretty good track on there though. So,
yep.
All right, number 8 for me is Dress to Kill, and I mostly put it this far down in the top 10 because it's just so thin sounding. Although the reissue was a little thicker sounding, but man, the guitar, like Come On and Love Me, it's like okay, like did you use distortion? Like, come on. Some of the tracks I'm just like, come on, just a little heavier, a little thicker. And again, I think Alive really pushed a lot of those songs forward, but it also had great songs that we didn't get to hear later, like Getaway. Getaway is probably one of the best songs from the first 3 records. I love She, Rock Bottom, Ladies in Waiting, Two Timer, like that. Like, it's a record I can listen to. Like, when I want to listen to that record, I will listen to it front to back. And that's pretty much all of these ones in my top 10 are like that. Like, I'll just listen to them front to back. So.
Yep, Love Her All I Can. Yeah, I think that's my standout. And it's funny that I say that's my standout because Dress to Kill is also my number 8.
Boom!
Yes.
Boom.
Yeah, we can, we have a match here, number 8 as well. And it's
nice.
Yeah, my only knock against that record is that they didn't have a guitar solo on Rock and Roll All Night yet.
Oh yeah. That's true.
It's like it just hadn't quite coalesced, hadn't quite made it to that point, and Alive perfected it.
Correct. That's kind of how I feel on that too. So, my number 7 is Revenge. I really loved that record too. It was a lot heavier than most of the stuff they had ever done, especially coming out of the '80s stuff. I thought it was interesting that they kind of were like, we're gonna do like this like hair metal kind of stuff for a while. Then, you know what? Let's put on some leather. It just came like, and it was kind of like the return of Gene to being a good songwriter again.
Yes.
Like
the demon. Yep.
Yeah, and that like all he had to who knew all he had to do was grow a goatee, and it was fine.
Yeah. Put on a Misfits t-shirt. Yep.
Yeah, right. Because like that record, again, like I can listen to it front to back. I won't skip a single track. I love everything on there, like Heart of Chrome, Take It Off, Spit. I even love Spit, and that's kind of like a weird.
It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like a weird Gene rap song.
Yeah.
Domino's another great one on there. So, yeah, that record just to me kicks a lot of ass. So,
Yeah, Spit was so good it made it onto the Unplugged. I mean, depending on what version of the record you get, right?
oh yeah, that's true. Yeah,
They kind of goofed around and put that on there. Yeah. My number 7 is one that I'm kind of hot and cold on. Today's more on the hot end, but it's Destroyer, and it's supposedly Gene and Paul's favorite,
Yeah.
But to me, it doesn't pack quite the punches. Some, but it's still outstanding, and it's probably the one I listened to the most, the studio album I listened to most in my youth. So it's got that strong nostalgia feel to it. It's got the nostalgia glasses. These are also nostalgia glasses, in addition to being Psycho Circus 3D glasses. So
you're gonna look at the album cover and they're just gonna jump right out at you. It's fine.
Yes, it'll be amazing.
All right, my number 6 is Alive 2. And I put this one up here because the Destroyer, Love Gun, Rock and Roll Over era is like my favorite Kiss era. Like those 3 records are like my, like if someone asked me like what is the best era to listen of Kiss, I'm like this one right here. Like those 3 records are just fun rock the whole way through, and this record is all of those songs. Plus, you get a lot of really cool ones, like the bonus studio tracks, like Rocket Ride's great, Larger Than Life, All American Man, Any Way You Want, the Dave Clark 5, Any Way You Want It cover. It's a lot of.
At one point, another
exactly. Yeah. So it just really, to me, was kind of like where I want, like where. It's the best Alive record for me. So, and I remember buying the CD, and it's like 2 CDs, and you're just like, holy crap, there's so much music. So, I also really love the live version of Shock Me. So, can't go wrong
awesome.
there.
Yeah, the Ace solo, it gives me those memories of seeing them play it live. Yeah, and doing a similar routine. Yep. Yeah, my number 6 is the self-titled Kiss. And it's how can I describe it? It's really started with a bang. I'll say it was set the tone for the rest of their career at that point. And I'd say of the first 3 records, it probably has the best production. It's funny that they didn't go back to Kenny Carter or Richie Wise and say, just do what you did for this one. And maybe there was a reason for that. I don't know. But, but I like it a lot.
I'm also glad that Peter decided to not do that super fancy makeup he did for that.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, the early makeup that you see on the cover where his whiskers are broken up. I had a T-shirt of that album cover in high school. That was actually the first Kiss shirt I ever got before this one here. And I wish I still had it, but I got rid of it just because I didn't like the way Peter looked.
I actually had a wall tapestry of that, a black and white one of that. And I had it in my college dorm room. So then all my friends would be like, "Why does Peter's makeup look weird?" I'm like, "Don't worry about it. We don't talk about that."
So, for that matter, Ace's hair was silver because he was spray painting it at that point, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Maybe not the best idea, but yeah, hey, they suffered for their art.
Right. I mean, you do what you got to do to make the dollars. That's all I got to say. As a former struggling artist, like, well, I shouldn't say former. I'm still a struggling artist. I just don't play out anymore. So, all right. So we're going into the top 5, and again, 3 of these records are going to be the same. So I'm very curious to see where these fall. So my number 5 is Creatures of the Night. This record was kind of like the we're really sorry about the music from the Elder record. But man, like the songwriting on this record was just so good. Like everything on this record was killer. Including the song "Killer." In fact, the only song I don't really like on there is "I Still Love You," and I just think it's because it's very like the rest of the record is very thick sounding, and this song is very spaced out and very like it's not thin sounding, but it's very minimalist, and it's not my favorite Kiss ballad, I guess. But, you got War Machine, you got Creatures, you got I Love It Loud, Rock and Roll Hell, and it was probably the last great Gene record before Revenge. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I would say, yeah.
So, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good record. That's why it's up there for me.
Yep. My number 5 is Ace Frehley solo record.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty much universally considered the best of the 478 solo records, and with good reason.
Absolutely.
Yeah. To start to finish and enjoy the whole thing. And Fractured Mirror is one of my favorite instrumentals ever written. After Ace passed, first thing I did was go home and put that on, and I'd be lying if I said my eyes weren't welling up,
Yeah, I definitely the first time I listened to that record after he passed, by the time I got to Fractured Mirror, I started kind of welling up too, because I was just like really enjoying the moment, and then that comes on, and it's got this cool epic tone to it toward the middle, where it really starts building on itself, and you're just like, man, like it's so great, like it's just a beautiful piece. Even the second one wasn't too bad, but the third and fourth ones, meh. Because I think there's 4, right? Or is there 5? I think it's 4.
I want to say 4.
Yeah, because 2 was on the first Fraley's Comet, 3 was on Trouble Walkin', and 4 was on Anomaly, I think.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think he made any more for. I don't know that he made any more on like 10,000 Volts or Spaceman.
Not that I recall. Not that I recall.
Okay. All right, my number 4 is Unplugged. I love this record. It's just so damn good, and the way that I think they chose the right songs for it. It kicked off the reunion tour. It was super cool to watch it. I remember running home on Halloween because it aired on Halloween. And I remember being like trick or treating and then being like, "Crap, we gotta go!" And like me and my buddy running back to his house, and then we're just eating candy the whole time. We're watching, like, this is great. And I think it was like, I don't know, 15 maybe at the time. So it was epic. I loved that record for that reason. There's a lot of nostalgia that comes with that record for me. So
absolutely. Yeah, I think I still have a VHS recording of that airing.
Yeah, somewhere I do too. Somewhere. So
yeah, it's in one of my many totes or cases full of VHS tapes that I may or may not get around to digitizing anytime soon.
Right, I feel you 100%. Along with my copy of Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park.
Oh yeah, I have 2 copies of that. I have a bootleg of the TV version, and I have a the officially released European theatrical cut on the Kiss DVD box set.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I didn't realize how different the European cut was until I went to a trivia at the Hard Rock one time, and they showed that, and all the trivia was about Kiss, but we watched that movie first, and my buddy and I are sitting there like, whoa, this is kind of cool, like how, because you hear like Radioactive's in it, New York Groove's in it, and the story is slightly different, but still the same, and there's like one or two other little cutscenes that I thought were kind of cool, so.
Yep.
And like at the end, we were like, "Is there a reason you're showing the European cut of this?" And they're just like, "What?" And I'm just like, "Oh my god! Just give us the prize. Just give us the prize now." So it was pretty funny.
Yep.
So anyway, so
yeah. Oh yeah, my number 4. My number 4 is Creatures of the Night.
Oh,
yeah.
That was so close, so close.
Arguably the best drum sound of any record ever recorded.
Yeah.
And the songs ain't bad either. Yeah, I mean, War Machine is like, oh wow, it's pretty much, up to that point, it might be the most badass song ever recorded.
Yeah. I mean, it's still a badass song, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like for pro wrestling entrance music, you can't do much better than that, I'd say. And it has used it in the old ECW, but I would say like you could have friggin' like Ed Grimley up here come out to War Machine, and people will think, "Oh crap, who is it?" Oh.
Right. I remember. I think the last time I saw them live, they played that, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's kind of a cool cut," because they definitely did not play it on the reunion tour. So
yeah.
So, but it was kind of interesting to see that. So, all right, my number 3 is Rock and Roll Over. Again, this is that era of those records I love. This is like very, very, like this. I feel like this record is almost their like best, like kind of like rock record. Like where it's not like over the top rock record. And there's just some really great tunes on here, like Mr. Speed, Take Me, Calling Dr. Love, like just so many good tunes on this record. And the album cover is awesome. Like that Ouroboros style, like wheel, like the Rock and Roll Over and Rock and Roll Over and Over and Over. I love that. And like I had a shirt of that somewhere. It was white with black ring. And man, like I wore that shirt a lot. I think I stained the shit out of it. That's why I don't have it anymore.
Yeah, so. I was considering buying a shirt of that recently because I got into a kick of buying iron-on transfers, like vintage iron-on transfers, and just putting them on new shirts and having like a new vintage garment.
Yeah,
and I thought about
that'd been awesome.
A Rock and Roll Over, yeah, and I may still do that. And one good reason for me to do that would be that Rock and Roll Over is also my number 3.
All right.
Yeah, I feel like that's their definitive studio album. You could say, like, if you were to introduce someone off the street who had never heard of Kiss to, like, introduce the band to them, and just if you could only pick one album to give them, I think that might be the one.
Yeah, I definitely feel it's definitely up there as one of the ones. Any of the ones we have in our top 10, I think are great. And like I said, Double Platinum's a great one because it's like here's a really good amount of stuff to check out.
It's a great starter. Yeah.
And a lot of the songs of Rock and Roll Over are on that record. So, yeah. So, all right, my number 2 is the Ace Frehley solo album. And he's, like I said when we started this, like he's my hero. Like, I wouldn't play guitar today. I wouldn't own 13 guitars if it wasn't for Ace Frehley. Let's call it that. I wouldn't play through a Marshall if it wasn't for Ace. I wouldn't own a Les Paul if it wasn't for Ace. I even bought at one point his signature string set, which is just Ernie Ball Super Slinky 9 to 42s, by the way. So I play those on literally everything because I just got so used to playing them that's the gauge I play. But I play a lot like him when it comes to my solo style and my writing. Like, I never quite play anything the same way twice. Like, him and Jimmy Page are like my two guitar gods because they never play the same solo exactly the same. They'll play it similar, but not exactly the same. And they have so much life when they play that it just comes screaming out. And that his whole record is like that. From Rippin' Out to Fractured Mirror, it is like that. And after he passed, I actually recorded a version of Rip It Out. And
very cool.
Yeah. It means a lot to me that it turned out okay. Except the GarageBand drums can't play like Anton Fig, so I have to find someone to actually play those drum parts. So.
Yep. Yeah, it's absolutely a classic. My number 2 is I consider it a classic. You mentioned it a little bit further down than I did, but my number 2 is Hotter Than Hell.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, it's I actually made a meme about this record in the Simpsons board posting group on Facebook not too long ago. Actually, it may have been, I don't know, time's all running together now anymore, but it may have been as much as a year or two ago, but it was a meme of Apu looking at the meme of the scene of Homer walking away with Apu looking at him and saying, still there goes the best damn clerk ever, from the episode where Homer worked at the Quickie Mart. Well, it was Apu looking at the Hotter Than Hell record saying, the production was crap, Ace didn't sing, it sold less than their first record, still there goes the best damn Kiss record ever.
Yeah, like, I honestly, that record would chart a lot higher for me if the production just was better, but it's just so hard to listen to sometimes. So
yeah, it's part of me likes a little bit of that grimy feel, but I can see where it would be off-putting to some people, but I'm weird about that stuff sometimes. So it's Hotter Than Hell is my number 2.
Nice. My number 1, if you're keeping track, my last one is Love Gun. I've always loved Love Gun. From Shock Me, I Stole Your Love, Got Love for Sale. Everything about that record is super great. Hooligan, right? Is that the Peter track on that?
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
Song,
yeah.
Yeah. No, it's just like, that's not on Rock Roll Over, right? That's definitely on Love Gun. Oh yeah, because Rock Roll Overs was Hard Luck Woman.
I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Hooligan because Hard Luck Woman is on Rock Roll Over. Yeah.
Yep.
But I also love the album artwork on this record. Like, it is probably my favorite Kiss album artwork too. Because I think it's like just a step above the Destroyer one, but it's a similar vein. Because I think it's the same guy. But it's very, 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 like, just cool. It's like them just standing there and like all these girls just in like white makeup fawning over them. And after Ace died, I actually saw this really cool, someone AI'd it, where like the Ace in there like grows wings and starts flying up to heaven, and they all look up at him. So it was kind of rough, but it was really cool. And anyway, I just love that record. I think every song on it's a banger, and it's probably the album I listen to the most, after like Ace and maybe Creatures of the Night. So.
Yep, and that comes to my number 1, which would be Alive.
Yep.
And to me, it just has such a defining sound. It's their most representative work. It has, there's that debate over how much of it they re-recorded in the studio, but honestly, doesn't matter one bit to me because it has the feel of being there, and it's a stone cold classic in my eyes. Yeah.
I agree. Like, it's, that's why it was in the top 10 for me, because it's so definitive with like what they do, and like you said, we could just literally take the top 10 and just shake them up and come up with a different order, and they're still going to be most likely our same top 10s again. But yeah, I just love it. It's so good. Like I also think it was the album that really put live records on the map, if I remember correctly. Like that one in Frampton Comes Alive, right? Mm-hmm. Like they were the two that everybody went out and bought, and it was the live version of Rock and Roll Night from Alive that really put Kiss into the forefront, and kind of saved their career, which was weird, but you know, because breakthrough. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and with that, we've reached the end, haven't we?
Yep. I can't believe only 3 hit the same, but I mean, when you have 33 options.
That's a pretty good ratio, really.
Yeah.
Considering that big of a discography, to hit 3 is,
pretty good.
Pretty impressive. Yeah.
I also think that it's interesting that most of our, well, I'll say from 20 down, are very similar. They're just in different order. So, but no, this was a lot of fun, man. Like, it took me a while because I was like, okay, so I know what my top 3 are. And then I'm like, how do I go get the rest? And I'm like, I know what my last one is, but I was like, where do I put everything else? And I actually had to go back and listen to like a couple songs off each record just to kind of be like, okay, now I'm going to put it here. All right, now I'm going to put it here. But it was a lot of fun, and like I really enjoyed this. Thanks for having me come and do this. This was a lot of fun. So
yeah, glad to have you. Glad. We'll have to perhaps do this again with another act at some point. Yeah.
Ramones would be good. Zeppelin, Black Sabbath,
Zeppelin
like
challenging. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Zeppelin would be real challenging because like the first.
I went over that in my head a little bit, and it starts to stand out after a while exactly how tough this is to do. Yeah.
Yeah, like but the first because they only have 9 records, I think. Mm-hmm. And Coda's kind of like it's like a bunch of B-sides, so so that one really doesn't count. So they really only have 7 or 8 records. So and the first 5 are just like they're really the cream of the crop, and then you have like 2 or 3 that are left over. But man, like they're so good. Ramones would be a huge one. Metallica would be a fun one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man. I'm game for whatever. Like I love music. Like I have a music business degree, so this is kind of what I do when I'm not working in comics. I'm like, and even when I'm there, I'm always like, oh, I'm gonna put some music on. So if you ever go into like the mills, we are either playing thrash metal, blast metal, or like 2000s punk, like pop punk. Like it's pretty much what that one is. Butler, if Dan's there, God knows if the music will be on at all. But if Tony's there, he's very similar to us, so it's a lot of like thrash metal and stuff like that. So if you ever want to do Anthrax, I'm down for that too, because they got that new one coming out this year or next year. So
we'll have to make that happen at some point.
I mean, I'm literally sitting beside 2 of these bad boys right now. So there's nice. That's the one he signed right there, right? And then I also have the one with the tremolo. Oh, come on. Don't get caught.
Yeah. That is sweet.
Right? So, those are my 2 Scotties. And then I just bought a James Hetfield LTD Explorer.
Oh, cool.
But that's a little further away. I can't quite reach it. So, but because Anthrax and Metallica are like my top 2 of the big 4. So, not in that order. Anthrax is on top. Always. So, but I'm pretty excited to have a new record coming out. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, man, if you ever want to do this again, I'm 100% down. This was great. And I had a blast.
I'll be in touch.
For sure.
Yeah. So anything you'd like to promote before we sign off here? I know CRC is coming up in June.
Yeah, we just actually started tickets for 3 Rivers Comicon, so you can go to the number 3 Rivers Comicon RiversComicon.com. Click tickets. You'll find it there. The only 2 guests we've announced so far, we do have a very nice guest list. The only 2 featured guests we've announced so far are Amy Chu, who I specifically wanted to mention on this show because she wrote a bunch of Kiss comics. And she's done, she just caught off a Emma Frost White Queen book for Marvel. She's done like Red Sonja, Poison Ivy, and a bunch of stuff on Marvel Infinity. And then Joe Pruitt, who is currently doing Viking Moon, but he did Negative Burn back in the day, and he did a whole bunch of stuff in between, some Punisher, some other stuff. He worked at Marvel for a while. He was an editor at Marvel. And they're both great guys. Like, Amy hasn't been back since 2018, I think, was the last time she was there. And Joe has never been to the show ever. Because Amy was the last show we did at the mall, at Century 3. And then Joe was going to be there when we did the one at the waterfront, but that didn't happen, so now he's coming to this one. So, pretty pumped about it. Kind of excited. But also remember, you can go to New Dimension Comics, which is at ndcomics.com. We do mail order. You can buy stuff off our website. You can also email us and email each store and ask if we have like certain back issues or wall books and stuff, because we don't have that stuff on the website. But we do a loyalty program for the stuff that you would buy on the website. All of that stuff counts for the most part. For every $100 you spend, you get $5 back. It's free to sign up. You can opt out at any time. And a lot of people, we even have creators that buy stuff from our website like that. Like, I remember during the pandemic, I piled up like 13 graphic novels for Matt Rosenberg. I was like, and I emailed him, I'm like, "Are you that Matt Rosenberg?" And he's like, "You got me." And I'm like, "Dude, I loved your Multiple Man."
That's pretty cool.
So, yeah, so it's a good time. But you can also follow me at my socials at Jon JONWENGEL. All of my socials are the same: Instagram, Facebook, Blue Sky, Twitter. Yeah, it's pretty much. I do have a TikTok, but I never use it. I just watch dumb videos. But you can follow me on all those, and or if you stop in the stores and you see me, give me a high five. Tell me how much you love Kiss. It'll be good. I'm not going to give you a discount, but I'll definitely hang out. Or if you see me at concerts, I go to a lot of shows. So, in fact, I'm going to see Shadow Realm, the Anime Night Band, next Saturday. They're playing at Spirit.
Cool.
So,
Cool.
So if you guys were into anime or into like just kind of like nerdy rock, they do all these anime covers live. So they're playing basically speed metal like the whole night, and it's awesome. So, but definitely check them out. So.
Very cool. Yeah, well, thanks again for coming on board, and we'll do this again. And until next time, keep listening to Kiss.
Absolutely. Rock and roll night.